I was like, oh, I thought you were saving up for this. And she's like, I am. I was like, you have an interesting way of saving money.
I thought you were going to say she bought one Switch 2 game.
No.
That would be funny.
That would have been probably 90 some odd percent.
How you plan on playing that, kiddo?
She's diehard physical. Like, it's so strange for a 2025 kid. So it's like, all right. Anyway, that's kind of a nice little levity with essentially what we were talking about with the layoffs. But then we were going to pivot into the stop killing games, and I think that's a really interesting question because there's a Streisand effect, like in full force. So there's a degree in which that with Pirate Software, I'm very happy that he has decided to take this stance and then double down on it. And he has also just announced today that he's stepping away from his game studio because of review bombing, to which I saw a lot of indie devs mad at him for that because they're like, you just fed the trolls. They're going to know that they're going to go and do that. And we're going to see more review bomb campaigns, especially hurting these smaller to mid tiers. So it's like,
I don't think that's why he's stepping down, but okay.
All right. Well, why? Like, let's get the conspiracy, hats on. Let's go.
I don't want to get us in trouble.
Get us in trouble, man. That's
all right. So for a long time, people have been saying this game should have been done a long time ago. But the response to that is, my dad worked at Blizzard. I know what I'm doing. Okay. So,
well, did Thor
he may be stepping down because of trolls and review bombing or whatever. But I think it really is just, I don't know how to get it done. So I'm just going to use this as an excuse to step away and not work on that for a while. So that's my conspiracy theory. He can hate me all he wants. I don't care. I'm just a small nobody. Sue me. That's my voice, not yours.
I just, man,
my dad worked at Cinemax, by the way.
It just feels like he, if we're talking about the personality there, I just don't understand the position he took, and then I'm glad to see the stop killing games movement gain a lot of steam. I mean, they were at like 90-something%.
I'm all for it. Like, since it was announced and the thing was, it's European signatures. Okay. Like,
yeah, I can't do anything.
Sharing over here from the US because
now
that could be huge for us.
There's a part of me, and controversial take maybe, but like there's a part of me that's like, I don't like government overreach.
True.
It can go too far, and it most likely will with the EU. Whatever your stance is on that.
It's a healthy balance. There is good regulation, so it's not all regulation bad. It's essentially in a way consumer protections, right? Because that's what really this movement has been about. That's why, like, I'm all for it. I'm for the conversation. I'm for the nuance to kind of find where our digital rights come in. We've seen it proposed here in the United States, a digital bill of rights, which I think is something that, in this new age would be valuable. I don't like that Steam has to tell me that I'm just buying a license. These things should be ours. There should be some level of ownership within our digital library. And I'm all for working that. I don't think it's going to be overnight. I think there's going to be mistakes everybody makes along the way, but I think it's an important aspect that I don't want to just be consumer, go consume and not worry about this stuff.
We have to protect consumers to an extent. It has to, we have to. Corporations will do anything that they are allowed to do.
$42.
I'm about to
cash shop stuff.
Fuck you over. Or they will stab you in the eye for 3 cents. All right.
I mean,
you have to
thank Bethesda a little bit. Force armor, and look at where we are now.
Right. If it would make them money, they would kill your whole family. Okay. Just saying. So we have to be protected at least a little bit. Like this stuff with Nintendo, like, dude, they're getting sued in Brazil so hard, and they're gonna lose. I'm pretty sure.
They have got really good lawyers, but I am rooting for Brazil in this case. It's like one of the things that I've stated when people, back to the Xbox stuff, people said PlayStation's going to physically, like, they're going to come in and block Steam games from running on anything that remotely is labeled Xbox. And I was like, that's going to be a real interesting lawsuit that kicks up, because it's like saying, hey, you bought your game. It ran on the Intel and it ran on the AMD, but we decided that our games are only going to run on AMD because we signed this contract. And it's like, wait a minute, but I already have the game and it already runs. Why are you taking a platform option away from me?
Feeding the conspiracy. That's why I think Microsoft is pushing that this is an Xbox marketing, because when they do get to that point, they can just argue, well, we've dissolved what that means into being nothing, you know. But even then, it's just like we obviously need the consumer protection side of it. It just needs some tweaking, and I think the overreaction by Pirate Software, was too early.
Misunderstanding. He didn't understand the fundamental concept of the thing in the first place.
He misrepresented it, and then he doubled, tripled down.
Right. Okay. So
and it's like
he's gonna.
You're kind of like, dude, like
but that's like, and him as a working in the games industry, working in software, should know the prototype conceptualization phase is nothing like the final product. Like the things on offer for the petition they need some tweaking. They need a lot of changes. They need a lot of legal backing to even have that exist, right? And so I don't understand his particular stance on it from that perspective. I appreciate his passion behind his stance. It's just you could be passionately wrong over there.
Here's the thing, because I was even debating making a video about this specific topic, but then I kind of go back and forth because I don't try to trend chase, and there's clearly a trend about this topic and about Pirate Software. So I was like, well, I kind of waffled back and forth, but to talk about it here in the podcast is that he made this case that no one's going to make MMOs because of these. And he listed off the reasons because, how are they going to make this game run forever? And it's that, in my mind, the law should be that it's like, if you're going to shut down your games as a service game, we have a concept with literature. It's called public domain. Yeah. So if you're going to shut down your game, be it, Warhammer Online, we've seen, WildStar, I think it should be required that then that code, that game enters into public domain and allows the people who really love it to play with it and experiment and see if they can't find a business model that runs, to host it on their own private servers, obviously at their own cost. It doesn't mean you have to keep your MMO or your games as a service game running until the heat death of the universe.